Now, when I began Serious Country, this was 7 weeks ago. It was so easy to hook and book the very best guests because you know what? I knew they were all going to be at home. But level 2 is staying damage to my system as they're now all starting to go out for dinner at 7 o'clock. So I'm absolutely privileged that she decided to hang out in the car outside a Palmerston North Mexican restaurant and joins us now, CEO for Food HQ, Abby Thompson. Now, Abby, thank you so much. It's so nice, but especially yourself working in such a great foodie role, to finally get out and about, especially in the metropolis of Palmerston North.
It almost sounds like you're being slightly sarcastic there, Sarah. And
I'm not.
Palmerston North is a fabulous place to go and wine and dine.
I am not. I absolutely am not, Abby. I have frequented a lot of great establishments, and in particular, those of Guy Sargent's owns a few restaurants as well that are very fine eateries, you know.
Well, I have to say, a little while ago there was a bit of a survey done which revealed that Palmerston North has more places to eat per capita than anywhere else in New Zealand. So it is definitely a place that people should start to put on their to-do lists and to come and try some of the fabulous food we've got here. But no, it is very nice to be able to, shall we say, have someone else cook for me for a change, because I haven't had much of that recently. My husband and daughter have done a little bit, but they do tend to leave me an awful lot of dishes afterwards.
Isn't that the cook doesn't clean?
Well, that's it. But if they cook for me, I'd almost rather cook than let them do the cooking and then have to clean up after them.
So, Abby, now we're talking about a survey under Food HQ's portfolio of food and beverage firms that you oversee, and just a bit of a general barometer of how they are feeling post-COVID. What were some of those results that came through?
So we sent out a survey across all of New Zealand food and beverage firms. So it was just an open invitation to anyone out there in the food and beverage sector to fill in a short survey that was going to give us a little bit more of a tangible insight into what was going on. Because we've been talking to an awful lot of companies and getting a lot of anecdotes, but as you all know, there's a big difference between just what people will tell you when you're having a chat and what you can get out of a bit more qualitative survey. And so we ended up with about 300 businesses completing the survey. And I have to say, I was really pleasantly surprised because, there's an awful lot of challenge out there at the moment, and we're hearing a lot about particularly hospitality and tourism businesses doing it tough. And while it was really clear from the data that we got back that most food businesses had a decrease in turnover over the past period of time, actually they were still really in good heart. The 2/3 were feeling really confident about what the next 12 months will bring. And I was also really interested to see that there was actually about 20% who thought that they were going to do better in the coming 12 months after COVID than they had anticipated before COVID, which sort of suggests that there's a bit of a silver lining there, and that hopefully those businesses have seen that, with every bit of adversity comes opportunity, and they're being able to take advantage of that in order to actually grow their businesses.
I would really like to get to the bottom of where that's coming from. You mentioned in Richard Rennie's article here on Farmers Weekly that this COVID-free status is actually a great export marketing opportunity.
Well, I think it could be. And I think, when I was talking to Richard, I did make the point that I think a lot like our sort of food safety and our transparency and the general trust that people have in New Zealand, adding COVID-free to that can only do good things in terms of the international markets seeing our food as being something that they can have confidence in. I did also caution that I think we have to be really careful not to expect it to be the reason that somebody buys our food. I think our food still has to be meeting all of the consumer expectations about, its flavour, its freshness, its delivery formats, and generally fitting in with what they want. But hey, it can't be a bad thing for the rest of the world to be looking at us and going, well, down in New Zealand, they've managed to get systems and processes in place to make things safe for their population, and that's going to translate through to safe food too.
What was encouraging was how many New Zealand food and beverage businesses pivoted very quickly into a direct-to-consumer approach using e-commerce and a digital strategy that they probably could have done before, but it was the push that they needed.
That did make me smile. And I think we're all guilty of it. We've all had things that we've meant to get round to doing for however long, and it's kind of sat on the to-do list, but you're always fighting the urgent fires right now. And I think that for a lot of businesses, being able to get the website up and being able to sort of start developing relationships with their consumers has been something that they've had at the back of their minds. But all of a sudden, lockdown created, I guess, both potentially the time in terms of they weren't able to be out doing other things, they were stuck at home, but also that real business imperative that if they were not able to do that, for many businesses, they were just simply not going to be able to have any sales. I was really delighted. 50% of businesses said that they were able to get new sales channels up and running over that lockdown period, which is absolutely astonishing when you think of it.
Abby, I would like to ask you lastly, our guest coming up in Serious Country, New Zealand food and wine writer Lorraine Jacobs, I know you will know. She is calling for a Ministry of Food. Do you believe that this is a strategy to collaborate the industry or just add another layer of bureaucracy that we don't need?
Well, I think I'll have to listen to Lorraine about that one. I mean, I do think that, anything that's going to be helping get people feeling more joined up and more collaborative and I'd love to see New Zealand be as excited and enthusiastic about agri-food as you look over in the Netherlands, where the smartest young people in the Netherlands want to go into ag and food and do fabulous things with it. And we need to be able to get our population also realising just how many awesome opportunities there are within this sector. And so, it may well be that having something like a Ministry of Food is able to elevate things and have that general population being more aware of what's going on. But like you alluded to, I just want to make sure that it was going to be ensuring we didn't have yet another thing that was duplicating what's out there already with things like the Primary Sector Council and things. So, but no, looking forward to hearing what Lorraine says.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us as Food HQ CEO Abby Thompson, who's getting very hungry outside a Mexican restaurant in Palmerston North. Thank you for taking the time to join us.
This is Serious Country.